This ought to tide. Enable my revenge. My heavens, aid us in our plight. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. Why have I surfaced? Convince me. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. And bone scum. And spare the pleasantries. Alliance surrounds me. Convince me. Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. Round them all. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me.
First blood.
Spare the pleasant trees. Fangs air. This ought to tide you over.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Enable my revenge. Land scum. Drown them all. By ebb and flow. Land scum. Fangs air. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Land scum. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantries.
Our warriors
This
have
ought to
engaged the
tide
enemy.
you over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. Convince me. By ebb and flow.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantries. Alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Enable my revenge. Spare the pleasantries. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Aid us in our plight. Spare the pleasantries.
Our warriors have engaged the
In
enemy.
our plight. Round them all. Fangs air. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries. Convince me. I have I surfaced. Aid us in
An
our
allied
plight.
champion is fallen.
Alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Drown them all.
Our
Hello
warriors
there.
have engaged the enemy.
Alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Convince me. alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. By ebb and flow. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow.
An allied champion has fallen.
Convince me. Enable my revenge. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. Why have I said this? Our alliance binds me. Enable my revenge. Spare the pleasantries. By ebb and flow. Convince me. Enable my revenge. Why have I service? I'll make it so. Convince me. Why have I surfaced? This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries.
Your mana is depleted.
Convince me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow.
Insufficient gold.
Why have I surfaced?
An allied champion has fallen.
This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so.
Your mana is depleted.
Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Spare the pleasantry. Our alliance binds me. Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantries. Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. Land scum. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow.
An allied champion has fallen.
This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. By
Our
ebb
warriors
and
have
flow.
engaged the enemy.
Convince me.
Your mana is depleted.
Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Round them all.
An allied champion has fallen.
By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Fans there by ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me by ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me by ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me by ebb and flow. I have answers. Spare the pleasantry. Round them all. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Made right again. Ages in our plight. Spare the pleasantry. By ebb and flow. Fans there. I'll make it so. Round them all. Ages in our plight. Fans there. Convince me by ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Aid us in our plight. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow.
An allied champion has fallen.
This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. Our alliance binds me. I have I surfaced. By ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Aid us in our plight. By ebb and flow.
An allied champion has fallen. Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Round them all. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Convince me. This ought to tide you over. Landbow and scum.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Alliance binds me. This ought to
Your
tide
mana
you
is
over.
over.
Our alliance binds me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. This ought to tide you over. Round them all. Our alliance binds me. Spare the pleasantries. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. I have access. Landbow and scum. Onajata. Convince me. Onajata.
Our champion has fallen. An allied champion has fallen.
Turn of the tide. Spare the pleasantries.
Double kill.
It spines me. Have I surfaced? Our alliance spines me. Convince me. Why have I surfaced?
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Ebb and flow. I'll make it so. Convince me. Our alliance binds me. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? Our alliance binds me.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
It's up to tide. Convince me. Why have I surfaced? By ebb and flow. I'll make it so.
Our champion has fallen.
I come to you now. Convince me.
Your mana is depleted.
In how
An allied champion has fallen.
this ought to tide you over. Why this? Convince. Aid us in our plight. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? Spare the pleasantry. Spare by ebb and flow. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. I'll make it so. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Convince me. Why have I surfaced? Enable my revenge.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Convince me. This ought to tide you over. By ebb and flow. Land-born scum. I'll make it so. By ebb and flow. Enable my revenge. I'll make it so. This ought to tide you over. Spare the pleasantries.
Your mana is depleted.
I'll make it so. soul. Enable my